Welcome back to the Ron Noble Show. I am so happy to be back here shooting episode 2. But I have to be honest, I'm not that happy about our ratings from episode 1. I mean, I thought we were really going to crush it. And let's just say we weren't the top ranked show on LMC Media. I mean, no offense to the other programs. I know they have some great stuff on this channel. But there's just a few of them I thought we would have beat. You know, I have a few examples they sent me here before we shot. Like, I'll give you guys some examples. Like the school board meeting where they were deciding on next year's lunch menus. Crushed us in the ratings. They had the town meeting about like what they're going to do with the roads. This was their pothole budget. Pothole budget crushed us. I mean, really beat us badly. All right, so I guess people are interested in knowing what's happening in the town. You know, they're taxpayers. I kind of get it, but I was really surprised by this last one. I really was. The Senior Citizen Concert Series. Yeah, they had a guy in there playing Frank Sinatra's greatest hits on the kazoo. It doubled our ratings. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. But whatever. Listen, I can look at this one of two ways, right? We could be really down about this. We could be super upset. Or you can look at it, there's only one way to go, and that's up. So that means we're going to give you our best show we've ever done tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to what's happening. Now, for what's happening, what Johnny and I like to do is we like to go around and look at the world, see what's happening in the news and stories all around the globe, and then we try to give us, our own unique comedic take on those stories. And so, of course, I'm going to bring in my world-famous co-host for this, Johnny Figaro. And Johnny's got our first story today. Take it away, Johnny.
All right. Thanks, Ron. Let's see. Our first story. The gondola Ferris wheel at Rye Playland had been closed due to a pair of ospreys that built a nest on top of one of the gondolas. A rep from the park addressed the situation and issued a warning to the ospreys saying, "We took the loss on the gondola wheel, but try building a nest on the dragon coaster and it's not going to go good for you."
You don't mess with that dragon coaster over at Rye Playland. That's one thing I know. Have you heard of this new airline now, Johnny? They have a new airline out here. It's called Bark Air, all right?
I did not.
Yeah, essentially the way it works is you can now jump on a plane with your dog and fly anywhere you want. So Westchester County Airport was trying to get Bark Airport to come in, but now they're saying that a federal judge is blocking them from having Bark Air at the Westchester County Airport. And funny enough, I have a buddy, he actually got hired by Bark Air to like clean the planes. And he told me this was the best day of his life when he found out they weren't going to let him move into Westchester Airport. Yeah, because come to find out, planes that have dogs stuck on them for hours on end are disgusting. I don't know. But I bet it's a nice, quiet, peaceful ride, right? A nice, quiet, peaceful ride.
Yeah, I bet not. Let's see. Next story here. May 20th, multiple New York State police vehicles, as well as a team from the Suffolk County Medical Examiner's Office, were seen outside the home of suspected Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann. District Attorney Tierney said he couldn't offer any details because the investigation is ongoing, but said he could confirm that Heuermann does have one of the biggest heads he's ever seen.
That is a big boy right there, man.
I'm going to feel bad about that joke if he turns out to be innocent. He's probably guilty, though, right?
Well, maybe you should be nervous if he's guilty. You're saying, like, if he doesn't get thrown in jail, you might be in worse shape. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, that's true.
I wonder if Andrew Steiner, our beachcomber expert, I wonder if he's ever, eliminated any evidence from this Gilgo Beach. They might be looking for him next. That's all I'm saying. Oh, we haven't seen him yet, but you're going to see him in a few minutes. All right, well, this is a scary story, all right? This one is a little bit scary. It's about a small little roller coaster ride up in Dobbs Ferry. They had like one of those little traveling carnivals, up there, and one of them derailed. But good news is no one got hurt. So before we dig in too deep of this story, just know no one got hurt. But we actually did here at the Ron Noble Show, we did a little bit of our homework, and we reached out to this company to see if we could get some quotes from them, and they had some interesting quotes. Yeah, the owner of the company, he's told me, he goes, we're actually really proud of our company. This is only the 20th time that this has happened to us so far this year. So they seem proud, I was like, okay, that's interesting. Then he has another quote for me, Johnny. He goes, well, did you ever see the guys that we hired to put these things together? What do you expect's going to happen? His final quote, which I thought was a pretty interesting one. He goes, I'm actually surprised we made the news. The last time we made the news was when we went to a town and none of our roller coasters got derailed.
Yeah, those rides are always sketchy. You got to be careful. But no one got hurt, right, Ron?
No one got hurt. That's
No one
what
got
counts.
hurt. All right, that's what makes it funny. Okay, let's see. Our next story here. It seems the world's first talking dog is living among us. A U.S. woman named Meow Dallin, who identifies as a dog, said, "My name is Meow like a cat, but I'm a dog." The story has a lot of people excited, but not everyone who met Dallin seemed impressed. One medical expert we spoke to said, "I thought I'd walk away being impressed regardless of what Dallin said, but after learning that she calls herself Meow, I walked away thinking, man, these talking dogs are pretty dumb."
You would think a talking dog would be really smart, you know? You would. So yeah, around Westchester County, just this year, so we're talking about, January till now, 14 new coffee shops have opened just this year. And I looked it up. The average cost of a cup of coffee in Westchester is over $5. So, these people going and buying a cup of coffee every single day at that price, I can see why they don't want their taxes raised to provide affordable housing in Westchester.
You gotta have the coffee, Ron. You gotta have the coffee. All right, is this our last story?
This is it, last story.
All right, last story. In Westchester County, where we are now, emergency response vehicles are being outfitted with green lights that will be used to respond to behavioral health emergencies, but not everyone is on board. Some argued that the money being spent on green lights would be better spent treating people with behavioral issues.
I think that is a good point, Johnny.
Good point.
I think that is a good point.
So is that it for now, Ron?
That's it for now, man. Thank you so much, Johnny. We're going to move in and talk to a few beach experts and summer experts coming up next. Well, summer's in full swing, and that means that it's beach season. And while many people pay to go to the beach, we actually found one guy that gets the beach to pay him. And he's here to give you some tips on how to be a beachcomber. Ladies and gentlemen, veteran beachcomber, Andrew Steiner. Andrew, looking good there, man. So I guess you just came from your job, your day job. What are you, a mechanic or something like that?
No, this is it. I wear this at the beach. Just came from there.
Really? Okay. I thought maybe, like a pair of shorts or flip-flops or something like that, but what do I know?
Well, I'll put it to you like this, okay? As a kid, when you open one of those bags of plastic army guys and you pick out the metal detector guy, he's not wearing shorts and flip-flops, is he?
Okay, yeah, you got a good point there. You're getting your impression. All right, I'm starting to get the impression that you take this beachcombing pretty serious. So what types of things are you looking for when you're out there on the beach with that metal detector?
Well, obviously, you never know what you're going to find, but personally, I like finding items that you can tell have sentimental value. Wedding rings, engagement rings, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because that way you can, post them online somewhere and see if you can find their rightful owners, right?
No, when I find the jewelry, I melt it down as soon as I get home, and then I send it to my guy at Hunts Point. I sell it.
Oh, all right. I guess that makes sense. All right. Was there anything else interesting that you find out there? What's your second favorite thing then?
Well, I find a lot of weapons, knives mostly, but some of them guns too.
All right, but please tell me you at least take those to the police, right?
No, I melt them down.
Let me guess. Sell them to your buddy at Hunts Point.
No, I do it to destroy the evidence, because that's what I hope someone would do for me.
Okay, yeah, well, the guys upstairs are saying we kind of got to wrap this thing up.
There is no upstairs in the studio.
Well, I heard somebody say something somewhere. Anyway, one last question that people want to know. What's the most valuable thing that you've ever found?
I guess it depends. One time I found a Rolex watch. Sold that for about $9,000, but the most valuable thing I ever found, I was combing the beach about 3 years ago. I found this device that looked like a cell phone, okay? And it wasn't a cell phone. It was actually, I was trying to figure it out, and this older lady, she comes running at me. She's crazy, she's frantic, her hair's all frizzy, and she says, "That's my husband's diabetic device." And I see this old guy in the distance, and he's slumped over, looks like he's dying. And I said, "Oh my God, what's this worth to you?"
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is you made her pay for it to get it back? Is that what you mean?
Hey, you wanted me to teach your viewers how to make the beach pay for them, didn't you? Okay, well, this is how you do it. It's not always pretty. Anyway, this guy's insulin pump is in my hand, and I'm realizing I'm not holding an insulin pump. I'm holding this guy's life. And if I wanted to, I could have gotten his wife to get down on her knees and pray to me like a god. And in that moment, I was a god, okay? Anyway, I got the lady to give me $300. And it wasn't as much as the Rolex, but that insulin pump was the most valuable thing that I ever found.
Yeah, I guess that was the most valuable thing you ever found. All right. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for coming in, and may God have mercy on you, buddy. Our next guest also knows his way around the beach. He is a tanning expert that's going to tell us all about catching rays out there. Please give it up for Chris Byron, ladies and gentlemen. Chris, man, you are looking good, but thanks, man. Just wait 1 second here, guys. Who books these experts for this show? Like, we go from Andrew Steiner to, what are you, Irish?
Yeah, man, 100%.
All right, listen, dude, I'm Irish too, but no offense, I don't want tanning tips from an Irish guy. Who we book for the next show? An Italian guy who's going to teach us how to make Chinese food? Like, what's happening here right now? All right, well, you're here. I guess I'll ask you these questions. What makes you an expert in tanning, dude?
Man, I know all about it, dude. I'm in the beach every day. I go to every beach on the East Coast, brother. I'm catching the waves, catching a buzz, man, and catching some rays, dude.
All right. Yeah, looks like it. Looks like you've really been out there in the sun. What's your best advice for those people that are looking to hit the beach this summer?
Well, I like to get there around 11 a.m. so I can go to a good spot, have a whole bunch of cold ones, pass out nicely around like 1 o'clock, right when the sun's at its highest peak and its hottest. That's the best, dude.
Yeah, man, that sounds like a really good strategy, I guess. All right, well, come on, dude. You have like a nice beach umbrella or one of those fancy tents you're laying under, right?
No way, man. When you're in New York, you got to soak up all the rays while you can, dude. That's how I get this awesome color, dude. Can't you see? Isn't this awesome?
Yeah. All right, dude, you're rocking like an SPF, 50 or 100 out there? Like, what's really happening here?
No way, man. I use the good stuff. It's like the Brazilian, like really like dark suntan lotion is awesome. You get the best color, man. This golden brown, this really golden brown, shiny skin. It's great.
Yeah, I could see that. All right, so you're wearing like a shirt while you're out there? Like,
nah, man, I learned my lesson, dude. You see the picture, man? I don't want to get those lines anymore, dude. So I'm leaving my shirt in the car, dude, next time I go.
All right, yeah, because I did hear you were going to show us, what can happen if you wear a shirt out there. Oh, I don't know where you are. There, okay. Oh, yeah, yep, I could see that. I see you did learn your lesson a couple summers ago. Yeah, you don't want those bad lines. You're right. I totally see that, man. All right, yeah, that makes sense. Guys, give it up for Chris Byron. Listen, man, I hope you get some good color out this year and a really good dermatologist. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Byron. I'm super excited to announce we have a new live correspondent that's going to be out there in the real world and telling us what's happening out there. He's a comedian and a writer, and he's the newest member of our team. He's out there right now today letting us know what college kids do while they're home for the summer. Here he comes, Eli Prager. Eli, what is happening out there today?
Thank you for the introduction, Ron. I'm sure it was wonderful. It's summer, and you know what that means. Thousands of high schoolers and returning Mamaroneck College students are back and better than ever, and they're taking our jobs and our women. I'm here with Owen Millman, a local camp counselor and child care expert down in Turtle Park. Owen, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Prager.
Rowan, drop it now. Mr.
We
Millman?
talked about this yesterday.
Excuse me, sir.
Leave him alone and drop it.
Mr. Millman.
Stare at that tree for 5 minutes. Thanks for having me. Sorry.
What would you say your favorite part about being a camp counselor actually is?
Favorite part? Can't beat the smell of chlorine in the morning.
Chlorine, really? I thought you'd say something about the wonderful smile you see on a camper's face when they hop onto the bus in the morning or something.
I'm going to have to stop you right there. I think you kind of got this line of work a little bit mixed up. This is no walk in the park in a grassy field. This is war.
War?
You think any of these kids out here are thinking about how great of a day their counselor's having watching them? No. They're thinking about the next time they're going to stuff their face with a disgusting meal or go to arts and crafts and draw on a paper plate with washable markers. Every morning I wake up ready to tussle 1,000 8-year-olds to the ground. I've seen more vomit than 1,000 men in a strong army.
Geez, I don't know. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking about last week while I was scraping regurgitated sloppy Joe off the back of a school bus seat?
What were you thinking about?
I was thinking about the next time I'm going to have to scrape a regurgitated sloppy Joe off the back of a school bus seat. This doesn't end. This is my job.
You know, I never knew it was like that.
Okay, I wouldn't expect you to. It's kind of personal.
Well, what do you say to those looking to get into your line of work? You know, like camp counseling and all that.
This line of work?
Yes.
I ask you simply, do you think you have what it takes? Can you stare into a mob of angry helicopter parents and come out clean on the other end? Last week I had to explain to a mom why her 2-year-old child was left on the bus when everyone got off. So I told her what I tell every other parent whose child I mislay in various parts of this camp. I told her your daughter was never built to last. But your child is in good hands. I'm lifeguard certified in the state of New York. Doesn't get better than this.
I'm sorry about that. I never knew it was, I'm sorry. Is the child okay, though?
What child?
What do you say to those parents that question your authority?
There is no question. There is no question because I am second to none. There is a bar to get into this camp, and that is 16 years old, and I am 17. I passed the test. I carried the bricks from the bottom of the pool. Your child is in good hands, the best hands you can get for $7.50 an hour in Mamaroneck.
The real deal right here.
Thank you. So my boss calls me.
Awesome. Thank you for joining me today, Owen.
Thank you for having me.
Ron, back to you.
Our next guest is extremely accomplished stand-up comedian. He has a brand new album out called Stand Up Dad. He's getting tons of play on SiriusXM. He headlines all over the country. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Dan Altano.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Ron.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for coming in, man.
Can I just tell you real quick, this is my favorite show on TV. I have binged every single episode. Can I rank the episodes?
Yeah, I would love to hear
It goes
that.
2.
Okay.
Right.
That'd be this one we're doing right now.
I'm on it.
Yes.
And then 1 right below that.
But a close second.
Close second. I mean,
Episode 1's a close second.
I binged all of it. And
Yeah,
it's been
you sat down and watched every one, right?
every one of them. And my wife was like, pay attention to your kid. I'm like,
Right,
no,
like,
the
no,
Ron Noble show is on.
The Ron Noble show is on. I like that. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's only been one episode. And you might be one of the few people that's binged them all, so that's impressive.
It's amazing. It's honestly, I've been telling everybody, and they're like, where is it? And I'm like, I don't know.
Nobody
And
knows.
I'm like, don't worry about it, but just take my word for it. And it's great, man. It's quality.
It is. All right. Well, listen, Dan is a stand-up comic, as we talked about. He brought a clip for us to watch really quickly, so we're going to watch that quickly, and we're going to come back and talk to him. Tell us, what are you talking about in your clip here?
Yeah, I brought it on DVD. So I'm a dad, and before I was a dad, my wife signed me up for a dad class because she didn't trust me at all to be a dad. And I walked in, and the clip talks about how I was completely embarrassed within 10 seconds of that dad class.
All right, here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Altano telling us about Daddy Boot Camp.
My wife did not trust me when she was pregnant because she signed me up for a class. It's a real thing called Dad Boot Camp. It sounds like a gym class. I dressed for a gym class. It wasn't. It was a bunch of expecting parents, like sitting around a table learning what it's going to be like to be a new dad. By the way, is there anything more useless in life than a group of almost dads? We have nothing to contribute to the world. And the teacher comes out. He goes, all right, dads, we're going to go around and say the one thing that scares us the most about the idea of being a father. Dan, you go first. And I was like, all right, I got to think about this, right? Like, I got to be honest in this moment. So I was like, all right, what scares me the most about the idea of being a dad? I love doing stand-up comedy. And I feel like having a baby might mean doing less shows and compromising my dream, and maybe even losing that feeling that makes me feel unique. And the next guy went, and he goes, yeah, I'm mostly scared of my baby choking on food. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have gone first. I was like, can I change my answer? Obviously I meant, what'd you say? The choking thing, that's first. My dream is like third. It's like third. I'm also afraid I'm gonna love the baby too much, whatever. That dad, that new dad who said that, I couldn't stand that guy. I remember his name. That's how much I didn't like him. His name was Eddie. He was like this tough guy from the Bronx, and I just couldn't wait for him to say something dumb. And then my moment came. Oh, it was glorious. They were like talking about how to feed the kid, and Eddie raised his hand. And he goes, "Yeah, so my wife makes chicken salad." The teacher was like, "Is there a question, Eddie?" He goes, "Yeah, can my newborn baby eat chicken salad?" The teacher was like, "No, Eddie, your newborn baby should not eat chicken salad." And Eddie goes, "Oh, 'cause of the mayo?" I walked into dad boot camp thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna be somebody's father. I walked out of dad boot camp thinking, oh my God, Eddie's gonna be somebody's father.
Oh man, that is so good, dude. That really is. I've seen that joke a bunch. Dan and I, we tour all over the country, and everywhere he goes, you know, I've seen that bit a lot. Always crushes, and it's just so fun to watch it, you know, hear it again.
It's weird to come back from a clip that it's you, because then you're like, how do you react to your own clip?
Yeah, right. Should you be laughing at yourself?
Yeah,
or
do you
not?
laugh,
It's
or do you go like
oh, yeah, of
like it's an
course.
actor
Yeah,
just being
you know,
like, yes, that is my
I'm
work.
old school, man. I'm confident in this stuff, you know.
I don't like to watch my own work. You ever notice that actors say that? They go, I don't want to watch my own work.
You know, comedians are like, no, I really enjoy watching my own work.
But also, like, some actors like, I don't watch my own work. I'm like, you should. You're
Yeah.
really bad at that.
It might not hurt for you to
watch some game footage.
think about some ideas here to change.
Take some notes.
That is so funny. So Dan, I was thinking about this driving up here. We toured around so much together, right?
Yeah.
We've been everywhere. And long car rides, flights. I mean, we've done everything together. You can think of week and a half long tours driving around with like 5 guys in my Volkswagen, whatever it was.
The best.
Golf. But when we're driving,
Yeah.
most of the stories, I shouldn't say most of the stories, but many of the stories are us talking about bombing, right?
Yes.
And it's sometimes us bombing or telling stories about, oh my gosh, I saw this one guy have a worse shit, whatever it is, right? But then I watch like podcasts and TV shows and all the comics ever talk about is their favorite show. Like
Yeah.
this show is the best. This one, I had such a killer set. So
Yeah.
I know you have some great stories about this. Do you have a few you'd like to share with us?
Oh, can I give you my top 3?
I'd love to hear your top 2.
Okay. So yeah, you're right. I mean, no one cares about the great shows, and we're at a point now where like you're having a lot of good shows, but the bombs. All right, so here's my top 3. I'll start with 3. First bomb I ever had. Okay, and the first bomb is the biggest bomb probably.
That one sticks with you.
It's like your first kiss, except you're disappointing more than one person. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, all right, I was 4 shows in. My first 3 shows brought all my friends, and they all laughed because they're my friends and they're good people. And I was like, where's my special? Like, I got this. 4th show, there's 8 people. 4 of them were my in-laws. And I go to my first joke, and they just stare at me. And then next joke, stare at me. And I'm completely bombing. And I'm just watching my entire family just judge me, right? And my wife's dad is like this old school Italian guy, and he's just kind of like giving me just the dead eyes. But the worst part about bombing, I got no laughs, is we had to drive to Connecticut from the show, me and the in-laws in one car, and that my father-in-law was just literally looking in the rearview mirror, just like
Staring you down.
I'm in the back seat. He's like, "This is what you're gonna do to my daughter? This is what you're gonna do to my daughter?"
For 2 hours straight in the car.
Horrible. Second biggest bomb. Okay, they told us we're doing a private show for lawyers. So I'm like, all right, gonna bring my smart, highbrow stuff. We show up, it's not lawyers. It's an organization of stenographers. Do you know what stenographers are?
These are the guys who take the notes in court, correct?
Those are the people in court who are famous for being quiet and unassuming.
Right.
And oh boy, were they quiet and unassuming.
They were
as an
taking
audience.
notes during your set?
They're just like, this guy sucks. So I'm up there and I'm just bombing, just silence, and they're writing their little notes on their typewriters of how bad I am. In the middle of my set, the woman who put the thing together, like the organizer, is in the back. I'm in the middle of a sentence. She goes, "Come over here. Come over here. Come over here." And I was like, "I'm doing comedy." Like, and I turned to the crowd. I'm like, "You know I'm doing comedy, right? You guys know I'm doing comedy?" They're all like, "This guy sucks." I got off stage. I'm like, "Why are you telling me to come over here?" She's like, "Oh, I just needed you off stage so badly. It was just so bad. It was so bad." So that felt good. Number one.
That felt good.
Number one. I'll give you number one. Okay. So I got this another private gig at this really rich woman's apartment on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And this is one of those amazing apartments where like the elevator opens to the actual room, like to the entire room. There's like 8 rooms in this New York City apartment. And I'm like, all right, where's my stage? She's like, oh, there's no stage. I'm like, is there a mic? She's like, no. I'm like, well, this is going to go well. It's in someone's living room. It's in the living room with like 8 women on couches, okay? And then me just standing there, okay? So I start, and it's going pretty well. They're laughing. I'm like, okay, I got this, not so bad. And then someone arrives to the party that they like, and they go, oh my God, Jane is here. Oh my God, guys, Jane is here. And they get up and greet Jane.
The whole audience is
and
up
I'm just
to go
standing
say hi to the person
in the living room, and then they come back. They're like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So I just start in the middle again. And now the rich woman is sitting next to me, okay? And she just goes, at one point, one of my jokes wasn't working because Jane was getting all the attention. And she just goes, they don't like that one. Do
Move
a
on.
different one. And I'm like, and she's paying me a lot of money. So I was like,
What am
all
I supposed
right.
to do?
So I just go to another one. She goes, they don't like that one either. Just do, you know what? Talk about your album. I'm like, if there's an album out. She goes, they don't like the album. Just keep going. I felt like a birthday clown, just like humiliated.
Jumping through hoops.
The show ends, and I just want to get out of there. I just want to leave. And the elevator is the only way to get out, and it's stuck. And so I've literally, I have bombed. I've said goodbye, and now I'm just like,
No escaping. No escape. At least you can hide out in the green room after a bad show at a comedy club. you
So
know?
that made every show after that so much better.
I've loved every show since.
Oh,
We were talking a little bit about touring around, but I was thinking about like when we were packed in my Volkswagen Golf many years ago. We used to do a tour called Escape from New York, and we would just take as many of us New York comics as we could and try to do as many shows as we could in like a week or a week and a half.
yeah.
But I always thought the worst part, I don't know about you, is how off schedule you would be. Because you're with 5 comedians, nobody wants to go to sleep on time. We would be drinking too much at night.
I just turned 40 years old, and I can't do the road like I used to. I can't do it.
No, I could never do what we used to.
They're eating one meal a day at like 3 p.m. And like and just like you said it. You woke up one morning. What did he tell him what you said when you woke up?
After being like a week on the road with the 5, and we're all in the same hotel room. Like so, you got like you're sharing beds with other grown men. Like there's no time to get away from anyone. I remember one day I'm like at the wit's end. I'm like, what are we doing here? We don't eat our first meal till 2 in the afternoon. We're just walking around with headaches, not touching vegetables.
Yeah, because we haven't eaten a vegetable in a week.
I haven't had a vegetable in a week.
I went New York City. I went to New York City for 2 nights the other night, and I stayed with a comedian who, we performed all night, eating dinner at 1 a.m. at a diner. I came home to Connecticut, and I was jet lagged.
Yeah.
My wife is like
you just got back from Australia.
Yeah, I'm like, sorry, I've been off the last couple of days. I was in New York City. I can't handle
the whole
it.
hour and a half away.
The last thing I'll say is I was in my hotel room in Atlantic City recently, and another comic walked in, and he was like, "Oh my God, are you doing drugs in here?" And I said, "Yes." I didn't want to tell him it was Miralax, but I spilled.
But they were drugs.
So in a way, they were drugs, and I enjoy it.
We're in a new phase in our comedy careers, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm working for Miralax now, so
We'd love for them to send in some money to us.
yeah. When you're on a go and you gotta go to Miralax.
All right. So Dan, I know you got another album coming out beyond Stand Up Dad, but right now Stand Up Dad's out there you can get it anywhere, like Spotify, Apple Music, all those fun things. He also does get a ton of play on SiriusXM, so you should listen for him there. And you're basically touring, he's headlining all over the country, all over the place now. So, that's Dan Altano. Follow him on all social media and everything else. And thanks so much for coming in, man.
Thanks, man. It was so good to work alongside my headshot. That's no one needed 2 of me, but here you go. Thanks, Ron. This is the best show on television. I'm telling everyone, it's gonna be great.
Thanks so much to all our guests that came out for episode 2 of the Ron Noble Show. If you're a big fan of the Ron Noble Show and you have a special talent, a story to tell, or maybe you're an expert in a field, we'd love to have you on. So shoot us an email